In 1996, one of the most groundbreaking events in NASCAR's history occurred. NASCAR was racing in Japan. The 100-lap race was divided into two segments, where the top 10 at the conclusion of the first segment were going to be inverted. This was actually the first of three races in Japan stretching from 1996 to 1998, the first two taking place on the Suzuka circuit and the third taking place on the Motegi Oval. Suzuka has been a staple of the F1 calendar since 1987, only being left out a couple of times. NASCAR wasn't racing on the exact format of the Formula 1 cars, they were racing on the east portion of the track. A crowd of 40,000 Japanese fans showed up to the 1996 NASCAR Suzuka Thunder Special. They had plenty to cheer for as 4 of the 27 runners were Japanese. Just before the video starts, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss a video. Anyways, let's get right into it. Rusty Wallace started on pole with Ernie Irvan alongside him, while Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt were buried in 8th and 9th respectively. Now let's get on into the race. Before they even got underway, Joe Bean retired because of oil pressure issues.
Pace car is in. We're ready to go racing. You're watching it live from Japan here on TBS. Down comes the field. Wallace has it in tow with Ernie Irvan alongside. Green is down. And here's Ernie Irvan trying to make the jump.
On the start, Rusty Wallace was able to cover Irvan into turn 1, while Dan Obrist had issues, spinning all by himself.
Here's Obrist in trouble. Wow. That's trouble. Nice little 360, and thank you very much, and on his way.
On the opening lap, there was plenty of side-by-side action, including Sterling Marlin, who moved up into second at the end of the first lap. Gordon was already up to third after making a move on Irvan, while Earnhardt was still back in ninth. Someone who was impressing was Ron Hornaday Jr. in the number 45 car, who kept picking up places inside the top 10. He had only made a handful of cup starts, but just came off the 1995 Truck Series Championship, winning 6 races. On lap 6, the first caution was out for Michael Waltrip, whose engine blew up and spilled oil all over the track.
Michael Waltrip out here in the Wood Brothers, number 21.
Just past the start-finishing line, you can see a big plume of smoke coming out of the back of the number 21 car of Michael Waltrip. That's a bad sign. That's either an oil line or he completely ruptured the engine.
Wallace still led, with Marlin, Irvan, Gordon, and Dale Jarrett rounding out the top 5. The race finally restarted on lap 13 after a very extended yellow flag. Jeff Gordon made his way up to third after passing Irvan. Gordon was really the only other driver who looked like he could challenge Rusty Wallace, already picking up 5 spots in the race. Bobby Hillin Jr. briefly went off track, but other than that, the drivers kept it surprisingly clean. That was until lap 22.
50 laps the distance. There they are around 1 and into this tricky turn 2. How about that for some racing? Ooh, getting a little loose there, buddy.
I guarantee you that was sideways as you want to be.
And sideways and all the way around. Is that Butch Gillian? Spin, still trying to pick it up. Man.
Scott Gaylord went around as many drivers had to go through the grass to avoid him. No full course caution was needed, instead they used what they called a corner caution, meaning the drivers only had to slow down in the corners near the incident, much like local yellows today. Despite managing to race in the Suzuka Thunder Special, Gaylord only competed in 4 points-paying Cup Series races in his career, but made a career racing in the Winston West Series. Although he never scored a victory, he snagged 35 top 5s in his 18-year stint. Back to the race, just a lap later, Herschel McGriff's engine broke down just off the track. The second caution of the day was thrown. The 68-year-old hadn't competed since 1994, but was no stranger to victory lane. All the way back in 1954, McGriff took part in 24 races, winning 4 of them and also picking up 5 poles. McGriff raced in the regional series most of his NASCAR career, taking part in at least one race over 42 seasons in the West Series, including a race in 2018 at the age of 90. What a legend. On the restart on lap 30, Gordon took a look on the inside of Marlin, but ultimately didn't go for the move. Just 2 laps later, Gordon sized him up and finally got around him. Earnhardt had also just got around Dale Jarrett and was now chasing down the 4 leaders. The very next lap, Gordon made a move on Rusty Wallace, who lost the lead for the first time all day long.
He's trying to make the pass.
He's there. Down into turn number 1. It's Jeff Gordon scooting into the lead.
It initially appeared Wallace was having a problem on the next lap, but the announcers caught on to the fact that Wallace was dropping back on purpose to get a better starting position for the second segment, which inverted the top 10 finishers. Tsuchiya was the Japanese driver who impressed the most, running just outside of the top 10 for the most of segment 1. He said that it was his dream to race in NASCAR after competing in open-wheel, touring cars, drifting, about any form of racing you could think of. At the same time the broadcast was covering Tsuchiya, another Japanese driver, Hideo Fukuyama, spun out. 6 years later, Hideo actually managed to race in 4 points-paying Cup Series races with the best finish of 33rd.
Running in 14th position. He gets a look at the world from another angle. And back at it.
With only one lap until the halfway break, our third Japanese driver, Akihiko Nakaya, stalled on the front stretch as Ernie Irvan spun out of the top 5 all by himself.
Take a look here.
Boy, I mean, Ernie Irvan's lucky right here. You can see him. That's Hornaday coming at him, goes to the inside. He rights the car, no harm.
Hornaday a lap down on the binders to miss a sliding Ernie Irvan.
Robbie Gordon also spun as Jeff Gordon crossed the line to win the first segment. Since the top 10 was inverted, Johnny Benson and Terry Labonte would roll off 1-2 with Rusty Wallace behind them. In 6th was Dale Earnhardt and Gordon back in 10th.
Terry Labonte comes up to speed. They stack him 4 wide back in the center of the pack and coming to the critical turn 1. Who are you going to give it to?
Whoa, Rusty Wallace gets a little bit straight into that corner, you know. He may have had a little brake problem getting down in there. Now he tries to make a move on the inside there on Johnny Benson.
Into turn 1, the top 2 locked up while Rusty Wallace was immediately all over the back of Benson, who fell to 2nd. The next lap, Earnhardt moved up to 4th and was now on the back of Wallace, who was getting fed up with Benson at this point.
They're hoping he's going to stay in 2nd spot. Wallace comes to the inside. Seemed to work this time.
He did that because the 3 car, Dale Earnhardt, took a look. But look at Rusty make that move in turn 2. What a move.
So Wallace comes up into 2nd. Benson drops to 3rd, and Earnhardt stays 4th.
Finally, into turn 2 of lap 53, Wallace was able to get by Benson as he chased down Labonte. A couple laps later, Earnhardt moved up to 3rd as Wallace made a move on Labonte for the lead.
Turn 1. Labonte holds Wallace off this time. Now Wallace tries again on the inside, and he's there. Wallace down the inside, jamming on the brakes just at the critical moment and able to slam through on the bottom.
On lap 58, Earnhardt was able to get by Labonte before they even got to turn 1 and was now free to chase Wallace. Robbie Gordon's bad day got worse after he went through the sand trap, but managed to keep going.
Oh, we got one in trouble. And back on the course is coming car number 42, and it's crunched in the side now. Robbie Gordon.
The race finally calmed down for a bit. Not many mistakes were being made, and Earnhardt wasn't getting any closer to Rusty Wallace. There were a couple of intriguing battles, but not much to talk about. Tsuchiya went off in the same sand trap Robbie Gordon did, and also managed to keep going without losing a spot. Anyways, we're going to skip all the way to lap 85. The 4th caution of the day came out for a mechanical problem for Larry Gunzelman. On the restart, Jeff Gordon made his way up to 3rd as the top 2 pulled away. A lap later, absolute chaos ensued.
For another shot at it.
Oh, Mike Skinner's off the course. He went it. He better be careful there.
Nearly got that one shortened up on both ends as he came back on the track.
That's Wally Dahlin back in the 15 there. He stopped just a second ago and took on tires. He's the only one of the front runners out there on fresh tires. I do not believe he has the time. Oh,
Fukuyama has hit it big time.
That's some of the tires out in the racetrack. As you see the cars coming at them, that's about 10 or 12 tires together there.
Full course caution.
Several drivers went off, including Fukuyama, who had a huge hit and brought out the full course yellow. Just after avoiding Mike Skinner spinning, Fukuyama was dumped by Wally Dallenbach.
Fukuyama there on the outside.
He got tagged from behind there and turned into the outside there. You can see him hitting the tire barrier very hard.
Turn two areas where he ended up.
On the restart, Rusty Wallace shot out of a cannon and left Earnhardt in the dust, while Gordon had a look underneath Earnhardt, but ultimately Dell kept the position. The battle was heating up with 4 laps to go, but Scott Gaylord stalled again, bringing out the yellow.
We've got another flag down. The number 50's broken loose. Scott Gaylord's going to put us under caution with 3 to go.
Oh, my.
As they raced back to the line, Sterling Marlin and Irvin crashed. Irvin spun in front of the field while Marlin slammed into the back of Terry Labonte.
Inside. Ooh. The contact that the 4-car had was with Terry Labonte.
And I think he got a piece of Wally Dallenbach as well in the 15.
The race restarted with 1 lap to go, so Earnhardt had one final shot at Wallace. Jeff Gordon was Wallace's best friend as he battled with Dell for the entire lap.
Points, just pride right here. Takes another shot at him. Gordon is right there. Works down to the inside and from that car just in front. He's
to the outside. Jeff Gordon fighting on the inside.
Here they come for the checkered flag. Wallace coming down. Gordon on the inside. And as they come to the line. Oh, you want to call that one?
I'm going to wait for a replay.
The two crossed the line side by side with Dell finishing second. Unfortunately, this wasn't the battle for the lead, as Rusty Wallace was in a league of his own the entire race, leading 84 laps. Anyways guys, I hope you did enjoy that video. It was a lot of fun making it. I really didn't even know that this happened until pretty recently. So if you guys want me to check out any more exhibition races or the other races in Japan, just let me know in the comments below. This was an absolutely crazy race. Anyways guys, hope you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I didn't know what was going to happen because they're going to be in the middle of the punching bag, and it was going to be exciting, but it was a good race. I'd like to have won it, but, you know, it was okay. I mean, it was the first trip to Japan, and run second ain't too bad, but second sort of feel the same way I do in America.